Hey, BATT Family. Welcome back for another review. Scott, how you doing today?
I'm doing good and very happy about the game that we're going to play. Didn't make me sticky.
That's fair. Did make us hungry, though.
It did make us very hungry.
So we are here to talk about the game S'mores Galore. This was provided to us by the publisher, Grand Gamers Guild, and we are just going to break this thing down. So let's go ahead and get into how the game actually plays.
Yeah.
On your turn, you are going to have a grid of cards laid out in front of you. And they essentially look like a fat plus sign where you have 2 cards on the top, 4 cards in the middle, and then 2 cards on the bottom. And they're all lined up. So you essentially have the single cards as wings on the side, and you have 2 columns of 3.
It kind of looks like a s'more because, you know, when you squish everything down, all the marshmallow comes out the center.
I don't know that I ever put that together through all the plays I did of this. That is really...
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's brilliant. I never ever decided to go, oh, hey, that's really kind of funny. Oh, yeah, it's a graham cracker when you smush it to make sure it all sticks, and it just smushes out the side.
God, that's hilarious. Oh, I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job, guys.
Go me. And go them.
Right?
It's a fantastic design.
So you have this really fancy wooden this way arrow, and you're going to point that at one of the cards or one of the columns or rows, whatever, on the grid, and you are going to take the cards closest to the arrow and then build out. The game itself is a set collection, hand management,
hand manipulation.
Yeah. If you've played Scout or Bonanza, that should give you a decent idea of how this operates, because you are going to start with a graham cracker in front of you, and then every card that you take from the this way arrow, you're going to play into your line following the cards that already exist. So you are going to start with a graham cracker, and then your next card that you take is going to go to the right of that, and then so forth and so on. You are trying to build specific s'more recipes, and these range from just your straight up s'mores of, you know, a graham cracker on either end, and you have a marshmallow and a piece of chocolate in the middle of it, to maybe the graham slam where you don't just jam 3 graham crackers together, or you just have a bunch of marshmallow in there, however you want to play it. And once you have picked your cards with a this way arrow, you are going to take up to 2 actions. And the actions themselves are burn, where you're going to discard anything off the left end of your row of cards in front of you. Mm-hmm. Churn, which is going to swap 2 adjacent cards. So if you have a graham cracker where there should be a marshmallow, swap those. There you go. You have return, which until you play the game, you don't understand how important this action is. And that is, if you have an adjacent pair of ingredients, you get to discard them, put them on one of the 2 discard piles, because there are 2 discard piles, and retrieve the top card of one of the piles. It could be one of the cards you just discarded, but importantly, it essentially allows you to trim the stuff that is sitting there and then rearrange it a little bit. Because when you score a s'more, and you can only do this once a turn, you are going to discard the very specific lineup from the left side of your line that the recipe requires. So if you're doing a straight up s'more and you need a graham cracker, a marshmallow, a piece of chocolate, and a graham cracker, if you have a 3rd graham cracker stuck in the middle of that thing, you can't score it. You are going to keep doing this until a certain amount of the recipe cards are taken. Depending on the player count is going to be how many piles of these recipes are out. Once 2 piles are gone, you are going to essentially have the other players each take 1 more turn. You're going to be done and out. It's a quick little game. It plays 2 to 4 people. It says 30 minutes on the box. I think that's a little long for 2 players, but for the 4 players, yeah, that feels right.
Yeah, it feels perfect.
So there's a couple of rules that we didn't cover on that, but this should give you a good idea of what the game is.
It definitely hits all the points that people need to know.
Per normal, I learned the game and I taught you.
Yep.
So how did you feel learning the game and going through the teach was?
Thankfully, I've played enough games because this kind of sits in that cat lady realm where you're going to pick a certain number of selections. I like this because it is simpler. But to learn this game perfect. It was easy to understand. Once you realized that you could place that this way arrow in any configuration on the end, it totally made sense, because sometimes all I really wanted was one card. So I put it on the end where it was only going to pick up one card. But then other times it was like, oh, cool, I'm going to pick up the entire row of 4. And then my other action, I'm going to do the stick action, and I'm going to pull the thing out that I don't need so that I can get what I need. So I can make the pattern that I need. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
What about to teach it? How did you feel?
So the rulebook is very good. The actual learning and teaching the game is very simple. It is a tight little rulebook. There's not a ton going on in there. We played this a variety of times over a pretty wide span of time, actually.
Yeah.
And it was just a quick, oh yeah, this is how this all works. And the description that I gave up top makes the game, I think, sound more complicated than it is, because we are at the mercy of being an audio-only medium.
Exactly.
And if you were to see this laid out, it's a very straightforward teach. And you did mention one thing that I didn't in my overview, and that's a stick action, because when you are taking things with a this way arrow, you can choose to just essentially discard a card. Mm-hmm. But if you do so, you're essentially going to be giving up points to whoever scores next. It's a really neat little
It's a nice, okay, I'm going to get what I need, but unfortunately,
unless I can get there before someone else, I'm giving those points.
I'm giving those points up. Yeah.
Learning the game and teaching the game is very straightforward. I've taught it to a variety of groups. Like I said, I've played it at 2, I played it at 3, I played it at 4, all the player counts. Never had an issue. All right, so art, iconography, components, production. What do you think?
I think it's perfect. Like, I love the little cartoony marshmallows, and all the little marshmallows have different faces, and the chocolate has different faces, and the graham crackers have different, like, they're just simple, silly, cartoony things. To keep it very much a light game. You know that when you're going to play this game, can it be a little complex? No, actually, that's what's so great about it. But like, the art style keeps it in that nice headspace that you're like, you know, this is a fun, fluffy game, and you're going to have a good time. And yeah, I really dug it. I thought I'm just looking at the little marshmallow, and he's just waving his little hand. I'm just like, I freaking love it.
Yeah, I think the art is perfect for what it is.
Yeah.
It is perfectly cartoony. I love the fact that each of the 3 ingredients, because there's only 3 ingredients, because that's all it needs to be, they have their different poses and whatever, and it's silly and goofy and it's fun.
Yeah.
There is no iconography in the game because there doesn't need to be. Yes, each of the cards has a small symbol of what they are in the corner. I think that is there for if you are playing on a constrained table space, so that way you can at least see, oh, hey, I've got my 3 marshmallows.
I can stack it up. Yeah.
But the fact that those are only single indexed in the one corner is all right. I get what they're doing, but I'm surprised they didn't also put it in the bottom corner, because essentially this says, hey, if you're not right-handed, it's a problem.
Oh, true.
But I mean, that's
digging for
I'm looking for something.
You're looking for a complaint.
The actual components themselves, the card quality is very nice. I love this arrow. It's fun to move around. Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton to this game. It's a deck of cards and this fun chunky arrow and rulebook.
As we're sitting here talking about the game, like, because it's so much fun to play and simple stuff like that, I'm thinking of like, oh, this would be very easy to make a simple $5 expansion on it. I know of people that when they make s'mores, they have peanut butter cups. They have Oreos. They use different candy bars. You could very easily like, hey, for here, if you want a challenge, add this in there, and here's a new set of signs that are for different points. It can be very easily, I wouldn't do like a ton of expansions, but you could definitely like have a candy expansion that adds new things in there, and it would just change it up enough that you could give it some more depth.
For the theme itself, it's great because it's so simple. Yeah. And what you're doing makes sense, because if you are trying to make that perfect s'more, like we all have those different desires. Yeah. And, you know, if you want just a big thing of gooey marshmallow, you don't want an extra graham cracker stuck in there. Right. So it does make thematic sense of what you're doing of, okay, I'm making this s'more, I need to do it this way. Yeah. I mean, there's really not much else to talk about in this category because it's very straightforward.
It's very straightforward. Really nice. I love its simplicity.
Okay, replayability. What do you think?
It's definitely going to be one of those games that I don't want to play every single time. Like, I don't want it every game night, but it's definitely one of those, like, I just want something silly. I want something simple. Or, it's early enough in the evening that, like, maybe your kids are still up, or having a family game night, and this be something that's great for the kids. It doesn't have a high replayability, but the fact of the matter is if I just want something fun and simple, this is going to be one of those things that I could see pulling off the shelf.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money there, because the actual structure of the game, what you're doing, yes, you're going to be at the whims of the way the cards have laid out, but there are definitely moments in the game where it's all graham crackers right now, and I don't need graham crackers.
Right.
Now, because of the fact that there are the 2 discard piles, and each discard pile must always have a different card, you can kind of manipulate your way around there because you're going to move cards over. So there's some mitigation to that, but end of the day, you are looking at, here are the patterns you're going for.
Yep.
Here's a stack of cards. But you know what? The box says 8+ years. This is intended to be a family weight game.
Yep.
This is a family weight game.
And it's perfect. It really is a great family weight game.
This is one that we've talked in some prior segments about my kids and getting to play games.
Yeah.
This is one of those that neither of my sons are old enough for this yet.
Nope.
But in not a long time, this is going to teach that pattern recognition, that building, that, okay, I need to take this order of operations things. You're right. It is a really fun family game. This is one that is great for just a filler. That idea of, you know what, somebody is upstairs, we're waiting on a game, we can throw this down, we can play it in 15 minutes. If they come back down, it's not going to be much longer, and you get to see the fun cute art. So
yeah, super simple. It's going to be one of those it's that fun filler game that at least our gaming group plays a lot.
I will say, I think it scales well enough. Where really the only difference is going to be how many stacks of recipe cards are out.
Yep.
I do like the fact that the straight up s'mores, even if this stack runs out, these are always available, so you're always able to get a couple of points. A 2-player game is going to take less time than a 4-player, but it's not a long game regardless. Like you said, this is one that I would pull out, play once, and then probably move on to another game. But this is one that I could easily play with my family. I could play it on a filler night. This is one that is easy to pull out, teach really quickly, play, move on to something else.
Yeah. I mean, I can even see, like, one of those nights of, we need to have a conversation, but we want to play a game at the same time. Like this, like, just think of just you and I, since you and I play so many games. Like, it's like, yeah, let's pull out S'mores Galore. We'll just have a conversation while we're playing the game. And
it's very much a front porch game.
It very much is. It feels definitely that at-home feel.
So what would you say, beyond everything else we've already covered, what might somebody come to this and like?
Because it's got the nice simplicity to it. So, I mean, we've got Cat Lady that's out there. It feels very much the simplified version of Cat Lady. And I like this in that exact same vein of that. Let's do some hand management. Let's do some, collecting of these cards. If you're looking for something that's nice and simple, that basically anyone that's, elementary school age, if you've got little kids that run around your house every once in a while, this could be one of those things that, especially with the art and how cute the art is, it'll keep their attention.
Oh yeah.
And it's a great learning game. It's going to teach kids some basic setup, because I can even sit there and I can think about how to help this to teach kids just like certain pattern recognitions.
Well, and I think we focused on this lighter end, playing with families, because I mean, this is the goal of the game. Yeah. But we've played it with a group of 35
it was like
up.
The youngest one of us was like 34.
So we have played this with adults. We've played it with a whole variety of people.
Yeah.
We had a teenager join us one time. So like I said, we haven't played it all the way down yet. But this is a game that if you're only for something light and quick and pick up and just chat and have a good time, I think there's a lot to like there.
Oh, yeah.
When we're looking at what somebody might dislike about it, my biggest complaint about the game, for being a small box, small deck of cards, everything else, takes a huge amount of table space.
It does take a lot of table space.
And I get that's why there's that card indexing in the corner, so that way if you are running low on table space, you can do that. But boy, this game takes an enormous amount of space.
It does take an enormous amount of space. And for what's in the box, it does also take quite a bit of shelf space, because it is essentially just a couple decks of cards and a token. So it probably could be a smaller, it
could be in one of those all play squares.
It could be I think if it was an all play square, it'd be perfect. It means that the rule book would have to be reworked, but again, This is a nitpick.
Yeah. Nitpick is really the correct answer because this rule book is technically 6 pages, and the back of the rule book
is your player aid.
I love when they do this.
Yep.
It's a player aid.
It's a perfect player aid of all the little signposts. And I think that's probably the other thing I love so much about this, to go back on a thing, is the fact that you get the idea that you're at a camp. Mm-hmm. Oh, you have a little campfire, all the recipe cards. They're not recipe cards. They're signposts that you would see in an old style campground.
Yeah.
It's super cute.
Any games that you would recommend if you like this, or if you like those games, why you would come to this one? I think we both agree on Cat Lady.
We both agree on Cat Lady. Nothing comes to my mind.
So my other recommendation, like I said, we've mentioned Scout and Bonanza for that hand management, but the one that I actually would recommend is Sea Salt and Paper.
Oh, yeah, very much so. Yeah, that'd be a next step up.
Because this does that 2 discard pile thing, and just like in Sea Salt, you have high importance to what is in the discard pile, which one it goes into, how you're pulling at it, and you are looking at that. Okay, so I need this and this together to make this thing. I think if you like S'mores Galore, you can get to Sea Salt and Paper pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Sea Salt is a more complex game because of the, hey, I'm at 7 points, I'm going to stop, last call, all that type of stuff. But I think if you like that system of, I'm going to pick up a couple cards, I'm going to manage my hand, and then I am going to figure out the 2 discard pile thing, I think it's actually a pretty decent comparison.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I would say that and Cat Lady.
Yeah, those are great comparisons.
And my wife looked at this game and she really enjoyed it, and she said, I like Cat Lady, and she plays a lot of games with us.
She does,
but she is more on the lighter end. And she said one of her issues with Cat Lady is all the things you have to keep in mind of, here are my cats, what food do I need, what are my clothing, all that stuff. And she looked at this, she said, I really like this because it just distills it down to, this is the pattern I need, this is the set I build, now I do it. And so she looked at it and really enjoyed it for that. And so depending on where you're on that scale, if I want something complicated or I want something lighter, I think this really fits in.
Yeah.
So with that, final thoughts and score.
If you are looking for a very nice, light-hearted filler game, this is definitely going to be one that you want to grab. For me, personally, this is a solid 6. It is something that I don't necessarily need to play all the time, but if it comes out on the table, yes, I want to play it. I'll be happy to play it. I know I'm going to have a good time, even if I lose. I think it's a solid 6.
So for me, I am coming in at a 7 because as it stands, like you said, it is a little lighter than what I am looking for on a regular basis. It's not one that I want to sit there and play over and over again.
Yeah.
But I will be happy to play it. I'm very excited to have it in the collection and hold it, or when my kids are a little older, to be able to play that. It's one of those games that I know I can pull out with family members or people who may just want to be trying to get into gaming. It is really solid in that lightweight gateway, let's play and have an understandable theme. And then you pointed out the way the squish s'more thing, which makes so much sense. Yeah, this is one that I really enjoy. It's a table. It's a 7. It's a high 7.
Yeah.
But
it's a high 6 for me because I don't think it would come out as often for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's just because I don't have kids.
Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing out. Again, thank you to Grand Gamers Guild for providing this to us, and we will see you on the next one.
And if you want to get in contact with us, you know how to do so. We would be happy to review your games.